So welcome to our morning practice today. This is our yoga sadhana, or our spiritual practices. So I'd like to start today with a reading from a book. It's called Whispers from Eternity, and this is a book of prayer poems. And I've been doing a practice of reading one a day since the start of the new year, and we happen to be on the 41st poem, and it's really powerful considering all that's happening in our world, if you're tuned in with that. So without further ado, this poem is called "Wake Me that I may know that the terrors of mundane delusion are only dreams." And before I read this poem, why don't you make sure that you're seated comfortably, that your spine is really upright, because more than just words in these poems, there's a consciousness that's been imprinted on them, and that's really what we want to receive. So see if you can tune into your heart. Wrapped in the blanket of hope, I slept long. I dreamed I was sitting on a throne, my face wreathed in smiles. My smiles withered, and the petals of my merriment dropped away one by one. Suddenly I beheld myself in rags. Seated on the hard stones of poverty I wept, and my teardrops fell on the unheeding, unrelenting stones of my present circumstances. The world passed me by in mocking silence. I cried out for thy help, and thou didst wake me at last through the force of my desperation. I laughed to find myself at last neither rich nor poor, but safe forever in thy arms. Awaken all anxious souls from their dreaming of smiling opulence and crying poverty. O maker of dream worlds, deliver me forever from the nightmares of disease and death. Wake me to immortality. Wake me to unshaken calmness, that I may know the fierce terrors of mundane delusion to be only dreams. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. Just take a moment to absorb that message. Let the breath become natural, flowing in and out of the nose without your direction, but with your attention. Drink in the fresh air of vital, invigorating thoughts, and exhale the poison air of negativity. If you can sit up even a bit taller and shift your sense of attention right to the point between the two eyebrows, as though you are gazing out through an open window over a vast scenery of open space, blue sky, like you're opening the skylight in your own body, allowing sun rays to pour in to your mind, into your heart. Soften your muscles and continue to receive in this space. We'll take a few moments of silence to prepare ourselves to receive our practice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's take a nice deep breath. You can open the eyes if you choose to, or leave them closed. We're going to inhale and reach the arms out nice and wide. Interlace fingers as you exhale. Let the hands come towards the crown. Then inhale and press all the way up. Good. Exhale, bend the elbows, relax shoulders, and slowly draw the hands down. Again, inhaling, reaching all the way up. Exhaling, hands interlace, slide down towards the head, and then inhale to reach back up. And exhale, bend the elbows, relax the shoulders, and draw the elbows down, hands down. All right, right, let's come right out of our seat and we're going to start on all fours today. Let's keep this relationship with a deepening of breath. Let's start with raising one hand and articulating fingers and wrist out in front of the body. Good. When you're ready to, inhale, palm facing up to start, and then turn it around and back and behind you, and then down towards the ground. Let's go right to the other side. So again, just articulate the fingers, wave the hand and wrist. Good. And then when you feel to, palm facing up at first, inhale, and then turn it back and behind you as you're lowering down. Let's take the nose nice and low, let the belly be relaxed. Shoulder blades draw behind the heart as you peel into cow position. And then exhale, reverse the shape as you tuck your chin towards your chest and pull your belly towards your face. And just move a few times through this little sequence, warming up the spine. You may be meeting your body this morning in a physical way, noticing the muscles, any places where there are tension. You may be noticing your body from a meeting place of the breath, the way that the breath is flowing through the shapes. And you lastly might even notice that your consciousness is changing as you practice. Energy flowing up and down the spine. When you're ready, you come right back to neutral. Step the knees nice and close together. Right foot goes all the way back. Take a deep inhale and pass the right hand by the heart and up to the sky. Good. Exhale, let that hand wave down. Just take a few moments here to inhale up, opening the heart and the chest, and exhale down. There's no rush, nowhere to get to, so settle in and see what you have today. What's happening in the mind, how you can work with it. Hand coming down right to the other side, so left foot goes back. And you inhale, draw that left hand across the heart. When you get up into the sky, exhale down and start that nice movement. Now on one level, we're opening up through the arm and through the shoulder, but in a deeper sense, we're stimulating the region of the heart. Anytime you move your arms, you're opening the heart. This be the last round. When you come back onto all fours, go ahead and slide the nose low again and then peel up. Crown of the head lifts as the chin lifts and the belly drops. Good. Exhale all the breath out. Come onto the tips of the fingers and draw the belly up into the spine. Good. Let's go ahead and come back to neutral. Step knees nice and close together again. We're going to step our right foot back this time. Shift the weight onto your hands and lift your left knee in between the hands. Drop the right knee down, and if you can come up on the tips of the fingers, we're not quite in a full pigeon pose. We're just touching in as we're early in the practice. Tuck the toes back underneath, lift the back knee, and then set down, and we'll do right to the other side. So left foot goes back, right knee slides between the hands, and then sink into the pose and lift under the tips of the fingers. Nice deep breath, humble heart. Good, and then exhale to slide down. Beautiful. And you can lift yourself out of the position. Let's take knees a little bit wider now and take your fingers and get really broad in your shape. You're going to start rolling your hips underneath, so you're tucking your tail as you roll forwards, and then push back and spread the hips out nice and wide. So this can be rather deep in the body, so just be mindful of how much you're ready to articulate. Just imagine all that heavy energy at the base of the spine that sometimes manifests as lethargy or resistance to good in our lives, and that you're sort of mixing that all up with this new invitation of awakened energy, of light. Let's shift directions when you're ready to. Good. Nice deep breath, expanding through belly, ribs, and chest on inhalation. Exhale, emptying the body of all the air, renewing the life force. All right, we're just going to gently bring knees close together, slide the palms forwards a little bit, and then draw the elbows close by the ribs, lower right onto the belly. Reach back and pull the ribs out of the way and get yourself lengthened forward as much as possible. Toes are connected, hands under shoulders. Lift through the back of the head as you rise into Cobra Pose. Good. Exhale, lower down. Just like that, one breath per movement. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to lower down. Head's the last part of the body to lift. Keep the pelvis anchored on the ground. Our last time we'll stay in the pose and invite the affirmation. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. See if you can say the affirmation with the consciousness of joy. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. A nice smile here helps. And then exhale to lower down. Take toes tucking underneath. We're going to push up onto the knees and just come right back into child's pose. Head comes to the earth as you sit over the ankles. Good. Relax the whole body. Any momentum that's in your consciousness. Let everything come to a point of stillness. And we'll lift our energy, our thoughts, to right to the point between the two eyebrows. Good. Breathe and feel all of your sense of self rising. All right, when you're ready to rise out, just go ahead and lift the hips, draw the hands underneath the shoulders, and round the back for cat pose. Good, and then step the hands firm down onto the ground. Let's work in the side body for a few moments here. We'll start with left foot out to the side. Toes are pointed in the same direction as your gaze, so you're on the edge of your foot. Good, come into standing position. You can take hands under the hips if you'd like, and palm facing towards the extended leg. You start reaching over. Come on, little guy. Good. Find some nice deep breath here. And the more that you stand up, the greater the opening that happens in the side body here. The affirmation, waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Imagine that feeling, waves of joy flowing through your body, alleviating any sorrow, any darkened consciousness, waves of joy. Let's inhale and come out of the pose. We're just going to reverse here, a little counter expression. You can place your top hand right down to the ground and send your opposite arm up to the sky. Now, if you feel to, you might see if you can lift that opposite leg for a little bit of toning here. Just get nice and bright in the chest. Use the bellies to sustain you. Good. And then be mindful as you lower down. It might be wise to bend the knee and then rotate the chest back down to the ground. Going right to the other side. Extending opposite leg. Standing onto the knee. Hands are onto the hips and inhale. Palm facing the direction of the extended leg. Now some of us might feel to slide that hand down the extended leg to get a little bit more of an opening. Just remember the direction we're going is not side to side, but it's up. Keep rising up as you lean into this pose. Just imagine you have a spotlight of consciousness shining right out of your forehead. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. See if you can actually feel the spine and the body. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. All right, before we leave, soften the body. Just relax into the position and let another full breath come into the body. And as you're ready, exhaling, go ahead and rotate over to the other side, hand to the earth. Now, if you'd like, you can walk that hand one step out. It might help you lift the leg if you're coming on this journey. We're waking up in the side of the hips, the glutes, but also feeling the spine exalted, every limb expanding. All right, when you're ready to lower, bend the knee first, and then turn your heart down towards the ground and rotate to center. Good, let's inhale. We're going to come right through cow position. So lift the crown of the head, arch the spine. And this time, let's go into downward facing dog. Toes tuck underneath and press the hips up towards the sky. Take a little pedal side to side. You can shrug the neck by squeezing back of the neck and then release the gaze back to the lap. So do this several times. Make sure the back of your neck is totally relaxed. Let your heels be heavy towards the ground. Just imagine that you're like garments drying on a clothing line outside. You're hanging over the center point of your waist. Try to bring that degree of relaxation too. If you imagine a shirt or a sheet blowing in the wind, going with the flow of the current. Just soften your body to embrace that quality. We'll use the affirmation just once before we move on. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. When you feel to, knees come down. You can keep them close together. A little more difficult is to separate them. And then we'll just come down into child's pose. Take a nice respite here. See if you can withdraw yourself more and more into the center of your being. And let that center be at least in the heart. Even better is at the point between the two eyebrows. You might imagine little fireflies, hundreds, thousands of them, representing your energy, your attention, all gathering to one central flame. That's the love and the devotion in your heart. All right, my friends, when you're ready, you can inhale and start to lift the hips, draw hands back under the shoulders. Good, let's just tone the body here for a moment. We'll step right foot back. Left hand is going to lift up forwards. And we're going to rise out of the base of our body. So really lift out of the supportive leg and reach the opposite arm forwards. And keep that forward moving energy. Feel the fearlessness of the position, willing to expand, willing to embrace what lies before us. If you feel to lift the back leg, you're welcome to use the belly muscles to keep you here. Good. And when you're ready, you slowly lower down. Good, let's inhale and find a cow pose here. Drop the belly, arch the lower back. Good, and then exhale, push right into cat position. Look towards your thigh. And then you can settle down on that side. Let's go right to the other side. So inhaling, you're lifting, you're springing forth out of the legs and the hips. Thumb is pointing up on the extended hand. Just imagine you're about to take flight from the earth, that type of lightness and power to lift you from your position. And we're embracing what's right in front of us. Look past the right hand. You might even actually close the fingers and look right to the thumb. The thumb in the body represents the willpower. Just imagine that your willpower is carrying you to the consciousness that you want to embrace. And of course, you come down when you're ready to. And hand touches down, but let's just arch the spine first. Come into cow position. And then exhale, round the back in cat. Good, and then you can step into neutral. We're going to go ahead and come up through forward fold position. So walk your hands back towards your feet. And this is your neutral asana, or your neutral position. Just let the head and neck relax. You need to massage the head a little, or you'd like to, feel free. Good, nice position to work in the neck. So relax your neck and do little circles with the head. Just imagine you have a pencil tip on the top of your head and you're drawing circles on the floor. If you have a very sensitive neck, keep a little bit of tension in your neck, a little bit of engagement, like you're hugging to the center. Good. You might wave the head like a pendulum a couple times, ear towards shoulder. All right, let's make sure the eyes are open. Press off of the thighs. Inhale, we'll lift halfway. Good. Exhale, sink the hips down, squeeze the belly, and inhale, stand up through your spine and come all the way up to standing. All right, let's bend the knees. Gentle inhale as we sweep up and around. Come onto the tips of the toes if you can. And then exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, rinse it out. Let's go ahead and roll up the spine this time. As the head lifts, turn the palms out. Flip the hands to reach up and over the head. Good. Exhale, hands into the heart. Let's come right into a standing posture or two. We're going to catch the back ankle and reach the opposite palm up to the sky. So right foot in right hand, left arm reaching up. Keep leaning forward as much as you'd like to here until it invigorates the body. The affirmation that we're working with: while moving through life, I am anchored in myself. Sometimes we like to think of an anchor going down below, but let's set an anchor deep within. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. Right in the center of your heart, or at the point between the two eyebrows. All right, we're going to step back courageously with that right foot. Go as far back as you can. Keep the heel lifted if possible, and sweep right into warrior one position. And embrace the affirmation: I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Feel the power of being anchored in yourself. Let's go ahead and inhale, step up. You can take as many steps, even a slide step. And we come right up to standing, hands come down. Close the eyes for a moment. and stand up through the spine. You're on balls of the feet. Chest is open. Chin tucked towards the throat and the crown lifting. All right. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's draw the hands together in prayer. Gentle bend of the knees. You can inhale and sweep the arms up and around. Good. Exhale. Before you exhale, maybe a little back bend, and then you could take your exhalation, come all the way down. Inhale halfway, lifting here, a nice way to reset in the spine. Take this journey of the forward fold, and then you choose if you'd like to round up the back, you can. Some of us like to stand through the spine. They're both wonderful ways to come up. And arms come all the way up and around, and hands into the heart. Good. So let's come onto our dancer's pose on the opposite side. Go ahead and catch the ankle into the left hand. Opposite arm reaching up towards the sky. As you kick into the back hand, it'll help you to arch or express the curvature of the lower spine. Exaggerate, that's the word I'm looking for. Exaggerate the natural curvature of your lower spine. All right. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. Self with a capital S. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. Good. Try to keep the heart facing in the direction that you're expanding towards rather than floating over towards the left. As you're ready to, with courage, step into the unknown behind you. Big step all the way back. And you end up into warrior one position. And try to keep the back heel lifted if you can, and the knee is engaged up towards the thigh. Good. Nice strong foundation helps the upper body to be free to exalt in the way that we wish for it to. Good. If you feel a little back bend happening, just make sure that you're engaged in the solar plexus. That's right underneath the marriage of the ribs here in this beautiful, powerful place of the body. The affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Just imagine the power that creates planets, galaxies, flowing through your body, enlivening your will to choose the life that you wish to live. When you're ready to rise out, again, you can take as many steps as you'd like. Hands come down, or even slide step forwards. Good, and once you get back to neutral, let's just take a moment to embrace the energy of the pose. Close the eyes down, look right to the spiritual eye. All right, let's take a reset and we'll come back. Arms all the way up as we inhale. Exhale, bow the heart forwards and to the earth, head releasing at the bottom. Inhale to rise, halfway lift as you press off of the thighs. Good, keep elbows right by the ribs. And then exhale, release down. You choose, you can round up or you can press off of your thighs by sitting hips towards the earth and standing up through the spine. If you'd like, take the arms up and around. Hands into the heart, and we'll rest here for a few moments. Keep the weight onto the balls of your feet. Your heels are nice and light here. Good. Try lifting the chin and then dropping it towards the chest. Just do this a couple of times, and then chin over each of the shoulders. Good. And then when you come back to center, gently draw the chin in and rise through the base of the neck and the top of the skull. It's a wonderful feeling when you really can get a sense of that openness and the upward moving energy. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. Let's imprint that into the world, into the subconscious by looking at the spiritual eye. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. All right, and we'll release. Hands right out in front of the heart, little bend of the knees, double inhale to tense the arms apart. Double exhale. All right, hands soft fist by the heart. Let's go ahead and take an inhale. We'll tense out. Relax in, tense forward. Double inhale up, tense up. Double exhale, relax everything down. Okay, again. So you tense out, relax in. Tense forwards, relax in. Tense up, relax down. And with the breath, inhale out, exhale forwards. Double inhale up, double exhale down. A couple more. With the affirmation, I'm positive, I'm energetic, enthusiastic. Again, I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. Okay, and we'll rest there for a moment. Let's take it into side stretches. Take your feet a little open and just inhale and tense the arm up and over, and then relax down. Great for the belly. Invigorating, help with your digestion, attunement to power, and last time. All right, let's rub the palms together. We're coming down to the ground. Let's go ahead and sweep the arms up and around. Face the palms down, calm any static around the mind, around the body. Let the hands drop all the way down. We'll keep going down to the earth till you're in a forward folding position. Good. And we're going to step just the right foot back so we're in a lunging position. We'll all meet in this lunge. Let's send left arm up to the sky. Good. Take a few breaths here. Keep the left arm and the right, or left leg and the right arm like two columns standing side by side. All right, when you're ready, float that hand back down by the ribs and then back to the earth. Let's go ahead and slide, step that foot out of the way. Peek into downward facing dog for a moment. And then inhale, right foot comes up this time. Good. Left hand secured and send the right arm up to the sky. Good. Breathe into it. Find your point of stillness even as you move through motion. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. You are center everywhere, circumference nowhere. Let's inhale, expanding from the center, and then we'll exhale that right hand back down to the earth. You can go ahead and slide that foot out and just place the knee down. We're coming into pigeon pose. See if you could make that transition, and then we'll extend the left leg. Good, it's our formal pose. We'll invite the affirmation. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Tune into the energy of the heart at the last part of this pose. It's a great indication of where our consciousness really is. And if you could just soften the heart and take a few breaths, embracing infinity. When you feel ready to leave the pose, bow the heart as close to the ground as you can reach. Tuck the back toes underneath. We'll inhale, lift the knee, lift the hips, press the weight onto the hands, and go ahead and step right back into downward facing dog. Make sure you take a deep exhalation. Heels are heavy, hips reaching towards the sky. Let all the breath out in this pose, and of course, as you feel in tune, go ahead and draw the left knee towards the space between the hands and fly the ankle out to the side here. Your toes can stay curled up towards that knee to help protect it. And then you're untucking back toes if it feels comfortable in your body. Take a little bow of the chest and roll the shoulders behind. Shoulder blades gather behind the heart. Good. And sometimes if our arms need strengthening, we tend to lean into our lower back a little too much. So I encourage you, shift some of your weight into your hands. And you might even pull on the heels of your hands and let the heart come forwards and then up. And the chin stays tucked towards the chest, or our throat rather. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. All right, friends, when you're ready, let your heart come towards the earth. Tuck the back toes underneath first. Shift weight into the hands. Lift the back knee. Lift the hips. Lift the weight off of your front knee. And slide yourself back and step into downward facing dog. It's our last pose in the upright position before we come to the earth. Again, you can shrug the back of the neck here and then look towards the lap if you'd like. A nice way to express. Take deep breath here. Draw it way down into the heels, through tips of the fingers. Send that breath into the deepest aspects of yourself. Breathing vital life force, recharging cells. The affirmation, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. All right, instead of child's pose, when you're ready to lower out, just come through hands and knees and sweep your feet out and around. We're going to take a moment here just to hold on the backs of the thighs and lift the chest. So hold on to your legs. Your legs are relaxed, and you're using the leverage of your arms to pull your heart forwards. You're most welcome to close the eyes here and just gently draw the chin in towards the throat and see if you can feel the powerful line of energy that is rising through your spine. More accurately, it's just in front of your physical spine. You can imagine a hollow tube of light. And it rises all the way up to the base of the skull, drawing to the back of the skull and then diagonally right to the point between your two eyebrows. So whatever's been awakened in your practice, this is a vital aspect of our sadhana this morning, is to take this opportunity to feel that everything is entering that channel like a river drawing into itself, and that river is flowing upward, and that everything finds final expression at the point between our two eyebrows. Look through that beautiful window out over the vast ocean of energy in your body and your being. When you feel to, let the spine round and look for the earth. We're lowering down, we're coming all the way back. If you have a healthy spine, you can even take a little roll back and forth if you'd like. Not that anyone has an unhealthy spine, but maybe your spine is sensitive. So just be mindful of what you need. Good. And then we'll set feet onto the ground. Let's take hands nice and wide to either direction, like you're setting big anchors of support, palms facing down, and wave the knees from one side to the other. And this is a good time for any final posture as we approach our resting position of Shavasana. You might take a couple minutes here just to really tune in with your body. We've cultivated an environment where we can have an increased sense of awareness of our bodies and our minds. Some of us love an inversion at the end of practice. You might draw the knees up in towards the chest. You might even lay the feet on the ground and lift the hips for bridge pose. So choose what you'd like here. See if you can go deeper than what you're used to. If you usually meet your practice in the level of the body, perhaps we can feel a current of energy flowing through us. Maybe we feel the breath that's circulating into the physical body, and the energy that that breath is charged with. If these are familiar practices, look beneath these grosser manifestations to find what is the source of this energy, the source of my consciousness. Are there really boundaries? Or have I dreamed these? And we'll let these carry us into our final resting position. You can come into Shavasana if you'd like, which is lying on the back, legs extended, palms facing up. You can also rise into a seated posture and meditate for the final few minutes that we have practicing. And let's embrace the affirmation taking us into deep relaxation. Bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. anxiety, elation, depression, and churning thoughts. All these I give into the hands of peace. Let's take a nice deep rest in silence. Let's gradually begin to draw our attention back to the body, back to the breath. Let's tune in to the point between the two eyebrows before moving. Soften any tension from the forehead and feel that you have a panoramic view, gazing out into the distance and feeling the vastness of your one being. You might inwardly just repeat a few times, "Thank you." Giving thanks to the grace that has given you this experience today. And if you say it with heartfelt devotion, you'll feel the response in your heart. Let's gradually begin to invite the awakening of our body, just enough that we can rise into a comfortable seat. Now remember that every aspect of your practice this day is a preparation for these final moments and for the continuation beyond this class. I'd invite you, if you're tuning in at another time, or even after the closing of our practice today, to sit for a few moments of silence, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, just to absorb the energy. Let's join the hands together in prayer position. And we'll use a general prayer of love and well-being for all beings everywhere, all souls out there. We'll rub the palms together, concluding our practice for today with the sound of Om. 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 Gently join the hands together in prayer position with a humble bow of our head towards our hands and our heart. We bow to the divine nature that rests within our innermost self. We bow to that nature in all beings and saying Namaste. Namaste. So now is the perfect opportunity to dive into your meditation practice, and I strongly encourage that you just take some moments of silence to be alone with what you've awakened through your movement. All right, dear friends, we'll see you next time. Blessings to everyone.